Donald Trump just rushed and called an emergency meeting in the White House as his entire life is falling apart. His poll numbers are crashing. His MAGA base has abandoned him. Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to publicly mock and humiliate him, along with other former MAGA influencers. Donald Trump is stuck and frozen with respect to this war in Iran. Donald Trump is telling the Congress that he doesn't need to invoke the war power 60-day authorization requirement, because he claims that actually there hasn't been any war or open hostilities since early April, when we have a ceasefire that we just keep on extending unilaterally. And Congress is like, you still need to come to us for authorization. You can't pretend we're not in a war, Donald. You currently have a naval blockade where you don't know what the hell you are doing. You are frozen in the Persian Gulf trying to pretend you are tough with this naval blockade. Your plan to open the Strait of Hormuz is to further blockade it, but it's not even an effective blockade. And Iran's parliament leader, MB Ghalibaf, is mocking your blockade. He's literally posting maps of the United States and says, you see this map? The country of Iran is bigger than the United States by a significant amount. If you look at this map, so you think your little puny blockade is going to somehow stop us from getting out our supplies and our oils to our allies? You know, there's something called the land as well, Donald, and there's something called territorial waters. And you know those mediators of yours that you think are just like all in your pocket, Pakistan? Well, they've opened up land routes for us to utilize to bring our oil and other supplies through the land and through their territorial waters and through the territorial waters of India as well. Also, there's something called the Caspian Sea. And while you're out there inviting Vladimir Putin to the G20 in Miami in order to mock and attack your NATO allies, and while you do phone calls with Vladimir Putin that you don't even tell the Americans about, but the people of the United States learn about it because TASS, Putin's state regime media, talked about the 90-minute phone call. Yeah, Vladimir Putin's helping us out as well because Iran has a plan, and Donald Trump's out there just ranting and raving like a lunatic. So Donald Trump rushed in the White House. He called this emergency meeting with his chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, along with the commander of U.S. CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper, which lasted 45 minutes. And they said, Donald, look, you're the commander-in-chief. We can't tell you what to do, but we can lay out for you what a escalation war plan would look like, where we invade Karg Island and where we engage in more strikes inside Iran. This would potentially lead to catastrophic results. We think it actually would lead to catastrophic results. Tens of thousands of American soldiers would likely be killed. This would likely cause a massive conflagration in the Middle East, way worse than what we saw before. But if this is what you want us to do, we can execute this plan. You're the commander-in-chief. Make a damn decision, Donald. And Donald Trump's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so Donald Trump, again, he tells Congress, I don't have to go to you for war powers authorization, which has a 60-day mark where if there are hostilities, you have to get Congress's approval, because Trump says, we ain't in a war, we ain't in a war. And so then Donald Trump calls up Greta Van Susteren. Greta Van, I guess she's on Newsmax right now. And Donald Trump's like, Greta, look, we've won the war, okay? I just want to say we've won the war. I may want to win by a bigger margin. So this is what you took out of this emergency meeting, Donald. You're going to go and just do this shtick again where you make deranged social media posts pretending that you win while you keep the naval blockade while the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And now you're saying you want to win by a bigger margin. You realize that's not the way war works. What do you mean you want to win by a bigger margin? You did not win. You are losing. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is asserting itself now as a massive regional power. You told us weeks ago that you had a deal. You lied about that on Market Manipulation Friday. Today's a Market Manipulation Friday as well. That's what Donald Trump does on Fridays. Here's what Donald Trump was saying to Greta Van Susteren. Let's play this clip.
Looking at the Iran war, haven't you already won? I mean, isn't it? I mean,
we've already won.
War?
We've already won, but I want to win by a bigger margin. But we have destroyed their Navy, destroyed their Air Force, destroyed all of their. If you look at their anti-aircraft equipment, their radar equipment, their leadership is destroyed. We've destroyed everything. If we leave right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild if they ever could rebuild. But it's actually not good enough. We have to have guarantees they will never have a nuclear weapon.
And then I guess after Donald Trump's meeting with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the head of CENTCOM, Donald Trump's like, you know who I really want to go after again? Jimmy Kimmel. So Greta Van Susteren creates this fake scenario where Jimmy Kimmel apologized to Donald Trump, even though Kimmel didn't apologize. And this is what Trump said. Let's play this clip.
Question. Jimmy Kimmel has apologized. Is it a good apology? Do you accept the apology?
I haven't heard him apologize, but he's a lowlife, whether he apologized or not. He's a lowlife. He always has been. He shouldn't be on television. I don't know how a guy can be on television where the network gets free airwaves from the United States government and spend 100% of his time knocking Republicans and conservatives and Trump, 100% of his time. It's not supposed to work that way, equal time provisions, et cetera, not supposed to work that way.
And then Greta Van Susteren's like, Steve Witkoff, your envoy who's been handling negotiations, he told me that the U.S. offered Iran enriched uranium for medical purposes if they gave up enriched uranium for purposes of nuclear weapons. Do you like that? And Donald Trump's like, oh, I don't know what that even is about. I never heard of that before. Here, play this clip.
The second thing is that Steve Witkoff told me on this show is that the United States offered Iran to give them enriched uranium so that for medical and powerful purposes, free, if they would give up their nuclear program. Wouldn't cost them a dime, and they declined that, which to me suggested that they really didn't want a deal. Well,
and maybe it wasn't a very serious offer, because I wouldn't have approved that. I wouldn't have. I'm not giving them anything. I wouldn't have approved that. They're going to either have a nuclear weapon or they're not. And if they're not, they're in big trouble. Big. Even bigger than they are right now.
Do you have any clue what's going on around you, Donald? Do you have any clue what's happening at all? Or is all the thing that the only thing you're focused on is building arches and putting your face on passports and dollar bills and whatever the hell you're doing, building more golf outings and golf clubs, whatever the hell you're doing. By the way, here's the latest arch design right here that Donald Trump wants to build. Quadruple the size of what was originally proposed, has been met with hesitation even from a panel stacked with Trump allies, and it has drawn criticism from architects, historians, and veterans, because it's also going to be like blocking Arlington Cemetery. Also, Donald Trump's sons have now taken a stake in a Kazakhstan mining company that won a $1.6 billion U.S. contract. I'm sure General Kane and Admiral Cooper very excited about that, Donald. Also, the U.S. Air Force agreed to buy an undisclosed number of interceptor drones from a company backed by Donald Trump's sons, according to the firm, deepening the military's ties to defense contractors linked to the first family. And then Donald Trump's been holding a PGA match at his Doral Golf Club in Miami. And as I reported yesterday, on Thursday at the 18th hole, there was nobody in attendance. Quite literally 0 people attended the PGA tournament that's being hosted at Donald Trump's Miami Doral property. And a lot of the top players didn't even show up either. Utterly humiliating for Donald Trump. And by the way, as Donald Trump's life is falling apart, as Trump is spiraling, as his poll numbers are crashing, as MAGA is abandoning him, even Donald Trump's top proxies who are going on CNN and all these other corporate news, they are just getting crushed, and they're getting crushed by MeidasTouch network hosts. Did you see what happened when Donald Trump's proxy, this Scott Jennings guy, was on CNN with Adam Mockler from the MeidasTouch network? Great. Shout out to Mockler. Make sure you subscribe to Mockler's YouTube channel. Did you see as Jennings was trying to support Trump and defend Trump's never-ending war and Trump's catastrophic unlawful war and Trump's war crimes? Did you see what Mockler did to him? It was chef's kiss. Mockler is just absolutely the best. Here, play this clip right here.
I mean, honestly, they have been at war with us for 47 years.
We all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
You have the attention span of a gnat?
Homie, I debated you on TV 4 to 6 weeks ago, and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not going
Name one political concession. Name one political concession.
Hey, whoa,
Honestly,
guys,
I'm not going to have this guy's
Everybody, hang tight.
Honestly.
Okay. No, everybody, calm down. Okay. We're having a debate. You can respond to the points that he's making.
Can you name a political concession that we've got?
We had a flashback to the war the skinheads had in my studio.
I would be mad if I had to defend war too. I would be mad if I had to defend war.
Scott, you can respond.
We have a very simple goal: to keep terrorists and a terrorist regime from having a nuclear weapon that can threaten the United States, our interests in the region, our allies in Europe, anybody else in the world.
So you can't answer the question. Thank you. I would get mad too.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Next for us, the president suggests ABC.
And then our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, reposted this chart that he previously created of all of the times Donald Trump kept on saying that Iran wants to make a deal badly. February 6th, March 2nd, March 16th, March 24th, March 25th, April 1st, April 13th, April 14th, and then, of course, yesterday during that deranged press conference that Donald Trump had in the Oval Office as well. Donald Trump's like, they're begging to make a deal. Iran is dying to make a deal. Here, play this clip.
I mean, Iran is dying to make a deal. I can only tell you that. I don't want to get into it, but they cannot be nuclear other than that. But their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone. Every ounce of any form of equipment practically is gone. You know, their drone factories are about 82% down, and their missile factories are almost 90% down. And many of their missiles have been knocked out. They used some, but we knocked out more than they used. And it's pretty amazing what's happened. They want to make a deal. But despite the fact that we are in what some people would call a war, we just hit a new high today on the stock market. We have S&P is through the roof. They're through the roof. And
really, Donald, they're dying to make a deal. Iran's supreme leader yesterday issued the following statements. The only place America belongs in the Persian Gulf is at the bottom of its waters. Iran will protect nuclear capability. Iran will keep Hormuz. Iran will not be surrendering. MB Ghalibaf, Iran's parliament leader during Persian Gulf Day yesterday, said, Iran, by exercising control over the Strait of Hormuz, will ensure that it and its neighbors enjoy the precious blessing of a future free from the presence and interference of America. And then he also referenced how in 1622 AD, after 115 years of occupation, Persia expelled European colonizers from the Persian Gulf, and we celebrate Persian Gulf Day in honor of this victory. Another thing to point out as well, Gavin Newsom won the first big motion against Fox in his defamation case against Fox. And now Gavin Newsom's going to be entitled to discovery regarding Fox and Donald Trump defaming him. Remember, it's a defamation case. Newsom called the National Guard, and then Fox edited out what Newsom said to Donald Trump. And what Newsom said about calling the National Guard to make it look like Newsom was not calling the National Guard. Newsom sued Fox. The court said you can proceed with discovery. That means all of those text messages and communications between Fox and Donald Trump, it's going to be subpoenaed, folks. And Donald Trump's approval polling at record lows at this point. His approval for how people view standard of living amongst independents, like 12%. His overall approval in the AP NORC poll, 33%. In the Reuters poll, 34%. I mean, historically unprecedented low numbers, the least popular in presidential history, less popular than Nixon at the time that Nixon resigned.